Welcome to Local Edition. My name is Brad Pomerance in Sacramento. It is my honor to introduce you to, you probably know her, but she is now the leader of the Republicans in the California State Senate. Her name is Pat Bates. Madam Leader. Madam Leader, it's you.
Well, thank you, Brad. It's terrific to be here, and as you would imagine, it's an incredible honor for me to have been elected to lead our Republicans here in Sacramento and throughout the state. I do take the place of Jean Fuller.
Sure.
Big shoes to fill. Jean was the first woman leader of the Senate Republicans in its history.
Right.
So I'm the second, and it's kind of like I was the second woman to be admitted to Rotary.
Right.
So maybe I'm on a good track.
You are on a good track. Well, I do want to ask you about the timing of it, because Senator Fuller is not termed out for another year and a half. And on the Democratic side, the leader of the Senate Democrats, we haven't even heard rumblings of his moving on yet. So what was the thinking of the caucus to transition now?
Let's begin with Jean. It was her choice.
Oh, fair enough.
She really worked so very hard in a year and a half, almost 2 years, that she was leader-elect and then leader. So she had the responsibility without the full title for a good 6 or 8 months. So Jean worked very hard up and down the state, taking the Republican message, working for our candidates in the 2014 election.
Right.
She wanted to continue, but she wanted a transition period so that some of the responsibilities, in particular, to be promoting our candidates that are up for re-election. Very difficult traveling around with them as they meet their constituents. Right. The caucus wasn't excited about a long transition, and that has been typical. I think in the Assembly they had a longer one, and Jean actually taking Leader Huff's place. It was a little longer, but the caucus wanted something shorter, and that actually was supported by Jean.
Oh,
so
fair enough.
The choice for me was, if you are a candidate for the leader, you need to begin now in developing your support, putting out your platform, what you intend to do. And so I went to work, and they decided that after I took over right after spring break, and that gave me time to get my staff in order also.
I do want to ask you about your community, though. There seems to be something about Orange County female Republicans that the region breeds leaders. So we have the 2 highest ranking Republicans in the state, both women from Orange County, Pat Bates, Diane Harkey, chair of the Board of Equalization. We also have Mimi Walters, a member of the United States Congress. You're all from the general area of Central South Orange County. Is there something in the water that somehow Orange County is breeding these successful Republican women?
Perhaps. I credit my path into elective office because I was born on the Bill of Rights Day, and I thought I cannot. I was married on the on Flag Day,
oh, really?
So it's kind of like I couldn't avoid it. But what happened in South Orange County is very, very unique. We were an unincorporated large part of Orange County. Women led the incorporation efforts in most of the cities, Mission Viejo, Lake Forest, Laguna Hills, Dana Point.
You're Laguna Niguel?
I'm Laguna Niguel.
Right.
So that group of women got involved at the local level for the usual things that women get involved in their community. It's safer schools, safer roads, public safety is a big issue.
Sure.
And I would say the nonprofit world, where we go in and become volunteers, those communities I just mentioned have a huge volunteer force that continues to this day.
And if you think about when that was happening 20 years ago, it kind of makes sense that now you are all coming into leadership roles because you had been in the assembly, then you took time off, Ms. Harkey came on, Ms. Walters came on, and so it makes sense that now here we are in 2017 and you're all really coming into tremendous success.
We had great mentorship too.
Right. You all kind of mentored each other in a lot of ways.
But you know who was the probably the leader at the very beginning is Marian Bertelsen.
Of course.
And she really mentored us, and I will say that the consultant who helped us with campaigns, putting the political aside, what our consultant did, we all made our first meeting with consultants. We would like to run for higher office, let's say. Well, they went down the checklist. Here's what kind of base do you have? What have you been doing in your communities? Every one of us scored very high on all of those key points. So we learned what you have to do to run for office, and that's a daunting task for women.
Let's talk about Republicans in California. While the country in 2016, in a lot of ways, it was very polarized, but the Republicans did better in 2016 than the Democrats. That didn't so much occur in California.
Correct.
The legislature went 2/3 Democratic. Hillary Clinton won this state by 7 points more than Barack Obama beat his Republican opponent. And the current Republican president's approval rating in California is not strong. I know we're in a state where coastal Republicans may be different than Republicans in other parts of the nation, but that does present certain blessings and challenges for the leader.
Brad. But I think you hit on one very important component. That's, we see ourselves as the Pacific Coast, coastal community.
Right.
So there are issues there that really are first and foremost in the minds of, our constituents. I think you go back to what I said earlier. We have very strong basis because we've been working as volunteers out in the community, non-paid, working in the variety of philanthropic, opportunities, and so that really defines a lot of us in Orange County. I
don't mean to interrupt, Madam Leader. If you look at Orange County, though, I mean, Orange County was the place where Republicans really were able to foster their political strengths and then grow throughout the state. And now Orange County's flirting with the Democrats. I mean, there are more Democrats elected in Orange County. It voted for Hillary Clinton first time since the 30s, I think. A Democrat carried the county. So, I mean, there are blessings for Republicans in other parts of the state, but your community is flirting with the Democrats.
And that, again, goes back to the issues that are very first and foremost in the minds of our constituents, Democrats and Republicans, because again, we won in our seats, even though Ms. Clinton exceeded those numbers, but all of us were returned to office. So,
what does that say to you, that so many Republicans outperformed the Republican presidential nominee in California?
Because we pay attention to the local needs. We respond to our constituents in very specific areas and in what is our message as Republicans. We care about people, we care about an efficient government, we care about public safety. That's huge in every community. And that's where we spend, our effort, our time. And certainly with legislation, if you're talking about the legislative Republicans, those are the kind of bills we introduce to make government more efficient.
And how are you continuing to work with your friends on the Democratic side to promote legislation that will make it through the legislature and be signed by the governor?
Well, I actually am very pleased that I'm working with Senator Atkins, the former leader in the Assembly. We have a bill that addresses a constituency that we share in both San Diego and Orange County, and that's a large number of our servicemen and women. Those who have had traumatic brain injury, those who are PTSD. We have the benefit of getting $12 million investment in a military hospital facility. It can go at Camp Pendleton. And so we were able to work together and actually get the bill out of the Senate very quickly.
And this is a bill in our final moments to waive sales tax. So to promote the construction of the site. I want you to come back. I really enjoy having you on, and I just have to say congratulations.
Well,
what
thank
a
you,
tremendous honor and treat for you.
Truly.
Absolutely. Her name is Pat Bates. She is one of the founders of the city of Laguna Niguel, and now she is the leader of the California Republicans in the Senate. My name is Brad Pomerance in Sacramento. It's Local Edition.